Welcome to SWU Farms Rags to Riches, where we turn an abandoned patch of timber into a working farm. One contract, one pallet, one stone load at a time. We're carving roads, feeding the sawmill, growing mushrooms, and stacking every dollar towards concrete fields and future harvests. No shortcuts, just steady progress, smart upgrades, and a whole lot of forestry. I'm Socks Way Up. Let's get to work. Well, it's July on the SWU Farms Rags to Riches playthrough, and the grass is ready to be cut for the first time. We got a lot of equipment to buy. You can see our balance is at 444,000. The productions have done really good over the last few months while we've been just kind of waiting for things to grow. Sorghum is looking great out there, and then farther over there, we can't really see it. There it is. You can kind of see the canola in the distance. August, the canola will be ready. A couple more months yet before the sorghum's ready. So our main focus today is definitely going to be on getting some hay if the weather will cooperate. So we've been dropped off at the River Bend Auto Repair. They're going to be very pleased with us. We're going to spend a whole lot of money right now. And in a long overdue purchase, we are going to get a semi finally. We're going to get the Black Anthem 6x4. And the first trailer we're going to go with, let's see the two designs here. I don't see a difference. I do. I actually kind of want I want all four of the ramps there. So we're going to buy this for $61,000. And we're going to sell our starter baler. It's gone. Now those are really just necessities that we needed so far. We've got a lot more to buy for today. Long term, we'll probably have something different, but we're going to go with this Vermeer mower right now for $49,500. And we're going to need a tedder. So we're going to go big with the Pottinger. This one is 17 meters wide for $44,000. And then we're going to go big with another Pottinger to row it up for $94,650, getting this rake here. And I think that's everything that we're going to need today. Well, it's not. We need one more piece of equipment, but we overspent. But most likely it won't be till tomorrow when we need the baler. So we're going to go ahead. I guess I did that, didn't I? And get these all loaded up and get them home. And I kind of underestimated the size of some of these things. So we're just going to take what we need first home and really hope this rain clears up because we're going to need that grass to dry out a little bit before we cut it. But let's head home with our new equipment, our new truck. Should be good. This is definitely one of those roads where you're giving directions and you're told if you get to the tree on the left, you've gone too far. Let's go ahead and turn here. A little too quick on the turn. But the skinny little access road is what takes us back to the new property. And there it is. I don't think we've officially come in this way yet, have we? Looks like this is where we're storing seed for now. We are going to get some containers over here long term to store stuff like that. Well, let's get these ramps unfolded and shut the truck off for now. I am going to get the mower off of there, but we're probably going to have to relax a little bit till this storm passes. Another tractor is definitely in the books for us. We definitely talked about that, and it is needed. This equipment I felt was a little more important than buying a new machine, but we are keeping an eye on the used market to see if anything good pops up and hoping to, get some more income coming in, and we will. That's a little test right there. I didn't realize I left that, but this is a little test. This is where the manure pit's going to go. We are going to have to get the equipment over here to kind of dig this out and flatten it a little bit. And I think we'll end up having like a retaining wall over here. I think is the best place. I was looking for the best spot for a manure pit, and I think that's going to be it. But back to the task at hand. Let's get this unloaded. We can get all prepped and just, I guess we're going to take a nice morning breakfast break before we get started on cutting this grass, but this will be pretty good. There's an area over here that I think would be good. Yeah, I can just open it up right around here. I think this is it right like so. All right, that's going to work nice. Search successful. Yeah, I did put a bid in for this JCB Fasttrack, but we don't have enough money for it yet. We need, oh man. We need to get sidetracked today just so we can get this. 306 horsepower, but we could upgrade it to 400 horsepower by adding in the chip to it for $5,000. How are we gonna pull that off? So let's get back in here. Hopefully that'll be around for a little bit, but I think we need to potentially see if there's anyone who needs some contracts around here. This is gonna be perfect though. So let's go ahead and just park the John Deere here for now. And I'm gonna figure out a way to make that money and get a baler in the next, gosh, month or so. Well, one of the ways we're gonna get really close to that dollar amount is selling all of the wood chips that we've generated over the last few months. Prices are still pretty good, so we're gonna head on over to the farmer's market. We're gonna see how it treats us today, and hopefully that puts us pretty close to where we need to be. There is still so much equipment that I'm looking to buy before this series is over. We're gonna look like a real farm. We're gonna look like we have the right equipment. And that's the plans. And if I remember right, it goes back over here. And selling the wood chips, gonna make a decent amount of money. We wanna see this up around 114. I don't think it's gonna quite get that high for us, but I think this is gonna bring in about $40,000. Yeah, 43,000 plus 1,700 for the environmental score. There's a couple contracts I was interested in that I think will push us over the edge. And I felt like those were ones that we could do while the weather is like this. So let's go home. We're gonna use our own equipment for it. I'm gonna get that prepped, and I'll see you there. Something about this field doesn't like going this direction. I'm sure you saw that in the time lapse, but it seems like it's okay on this pass. But just about done here, 92% complete. I don't know where the other 6% is, but we'll zoom around and try to find the other now 2% now. See a few. Okay, I do. There's a whole nother pass right there that we needed to get. Wasting some herbicide right now, but that'll be okay. Just cruise on top of these. And there we go. Let's fold her up and get her home. And I did get dropped off at the dealership. Let's go ahead and turn in those contracts. Farmland 30 is going to bring in $16,000. And Farmland 33 is going to bring in $5,200. We're at 129. Let's go ahead and grab this deal before it disappears. And can we afford to upgrade? We can. So we're going to have a 400 horsepower tractor on the farm now. Trying to, you know, mix up the tractor types we purchase. I think this is a wise decision. I do want to see what maintenance cost is right now, what the maintenance cost is before we head home. We'll probably grab the tedder with us as well. Let's take a look. 9,000. So we're going to hold off on that. We did just tick over another hour. We do have $16,000, but we got some other things we got to worry about buying first, because tedding this up and raking it up isn't going to do us anything if we have no way to bale it. What a joy to drive, peaking at 45 miles an hour. I definitely think this was a wise purchase. Spent a lot of money today. Got a lot of new equipment. This is exciting. I can't wait to use it all. Got to get organized out here too. Boy, mess. All right, well, I think enough time has passed. The grass should be in pretty good condition to get mowed now. And away we go. First time cutting grass on our new field here. Pretty exciting times. 14 miles an hour, that is not bad. Be super excited to see how much hay we get out of this. I don't know how many times a year we're gonna have to cut this. Another thing that we're wanting to buy is a trailer to pick up a bunch of cattle. So we're gonna need to save money for that before we get them here. And I was kind of debating, you know, once we do have hay, it wouldn't really hurt to buy them. But boy, this is a big field, and we're gonna be getting some bigger equipment to help us with this long term. But until that time comes, this mower is gonna have to work. And just finishing going around the field 3 times here to do the headlands. This is going to be quite the day to get this done. And this is definitely going to be something that we do as needed. We're not going to be cutting this every, 2 or 3 months like we could. If we're in a pinch for money, if we're in a pinch for feed, we'll definitely be mowing, but it's quite a job, especially when we're making hay out of it, with it being a 4-step process, this big of a field. It's just you can only do it when it really feels worth it to the farm, and that's the plan. But starting the ups and downs here. I know the best way to do this is to avoid and flipping this thing around to the other side, but I don't know if I remember or know how to do that. Oh, I think I do see how. I think it's super easy on controller. We're gonna give it a shot here. So when we turn around, let's slow down. We just do one of these, and then we loop back around. We should jump to... it doesn't line up perfect. Doesn't line up perfect. So we will just keep it on this side, because now if I come over here, it'll line up with what we did. Okay, that's interesting. All right, we're gonna drive on top of the fresh grass, or the uncut grass, and knock it down, so we're not gonna cut as much, but that's what we're gonna do. It seems big at the beginning, and it is a good sized field, but once you get going, it just feels like it flies by. So we're almost done here, a couple more passes. And we're gonna have to let this sit for at least a night, let it dry out a little bit, and then we're gonna ted it just in case there was too much rain going on, and if we get rain overnight. But in August, we'll go start getting this tedded up, rode up, and we're gonna have to figure out that baler solution. Just start folding up here. We'll find a place to start storing this. I think it'll be the shed right in front of us. And I think we'll put all of our hay equipment in this one. That side open, get this side open. Should be good. I think I'll start with this one as far to my current left as possible. So we'll wiggle it, yep, that way a little bit. And I think that will do. Plenty of room for lots of equipment in this one, actually. So now it's time to just kind of relax. And we'll get a chance to use the JCB in the morning to do some tedding. $136,000 to work with. I think we're gonna need a couple more hours of income from the sawmills. But we got some work to do before we worry about that. Man, the working with on this is gonna be lovely. And here we go, turning over the grass. Getting it ready to be rowed next. Yeah, the working with definitely is what we were looking at in this one. The windrower is even bigger. That's exciting. But let's get this done one step at a time. We'll have to go get the windrower next and possibly purchase that baler at the same time. Boy, this is gonna be a ton of hay. I think we did wise with the field selection here. We're not gonna have to do, you know, we're gonna do another one to make silage in a couple months, but that'll be a quicker process. We'll be able to do just 2 steps really, and we're gonna need to get a forage wagon for then because we're gonna put it in the pit. We're not gonna do silage bales. We're gonna do fermenting in the silage bunker. But that's a problem for another day. Let's get this done. Yeah, quite a field of hay. I'm excited to see how long this is gonna last us. We are gonna try to fill up with the maximum amount of cattle. Money's gonna dictate that when the time comes. We're not gonna be able to afford that today because the baler is definitely more important. We also have a harvest to get to in August and all the harvests. But after that, we'll definitely be getting a trailer to pick up the cattle and get them in there. And I think starting with just hay is going to be just fine. By the end of the year, they should have a better quality of food, but we don't have any way of making straw this year. So we'll have to keep that in mind when we pick our crop types next time around. And also once we get to that harvest directly in front of us, we'll be getting some chickens. So livestock coming soon. And we'll do the opposite with this one. We're going to try to get it over in the other corner and we'll put the windrower in the middle if my skills will allow for that. Yeah, it looks like that's going to fit perfect right there. Lots of room. Deja vu. All right, we're going to have a helper do the rowing for us while we head to the dealership and see about getting a baler. And we're going to take the fast track with us so we can get there as fast as possible. Nothing in the used market. We're a little bit short on cash here. So we might be waiting a little bit for the baler. About 20,000 away, 23,000 away it looks like. And we got a little bit here. Let's go ahead and see what we got. 5,400 and then loop around to the other one. So almost 11,000 liters. Let's go sell this. Price is still good on wood chips here. We'll see how close that gets us. And you know, for good measure, let's go ahead and put this back here. I think there is 1 or 2 more over here. There's one here. Oh, come on, pick it up higher. There we go. And I thought, yep, there's one more here, and then there's that big one on the road that we saw. Did I just run over another one too? I did. So a little bit more cash here. Not sure how much this will bring in, but we're gonna need it all. They're in there somewhere. And the mystery bale as well is gonna go with us. We'll get that picked up as well. Oh, that's not how you get out of a car. Get it up there, go ahead and drop it in. All right, let's head on it. Let's head back to the animal dealer now. And we'll see how close we get. I think it was 165 is what we're aiming for. Okay, let's drop the wood chips first. $17,000 there, plus the environmental score puts us at 160,000. And then can we just drive over this? Yes. Oh man, just a couple dollars short. We're gonna go hang out at the dealership with the JCB until 10 o'clock and hope that the sawmill and the rock production and the mushroom production brings in enough money. Meanwhile, we're here. I want to see if there's different tire configurations on this. Oh yeah, we can go beefy. I'm gonna want to go beefy long term with this. Gotta keep in mind $8,000, and we can do this at home. But I kind of want that setup right there. Or maybe just the wides. Let me know what you would do. All right, 3 minutes to wait. I'm just gonna go talk to these guys for a little bit. And after a nice lunch break here, we do have enough cash, so let's go ahead and get it purchased. Okay, it's a big boy. Brought a little bit more that hour. Interesting. It's just be a timing thing. We have $9,000 left over. The truck's gonna have to stay here for now. Let's get this back. They should have plenty of time now to have gotten ahead of us. Let's get home and do some baling. That's what I like to see. Yeah, they got a good jump start on us, so we might catch up still. We might not. But let's get started here. We have it set at 240 centimeters. Boy, we might have to go over this twice. This swath is so thick. Wow, I'm happy with that. Our first bale coming out there. Looking great. Square balers, I love them. And they've completed all the rowing. Let's go ahead and get this off the field so we can finish the baling. And then once we put this away, I'll give you a little update on the amount of bales. And I remembered a little bit of advice that Brody Farms gave me a long time ago. When baling and the rowing's still going, you might as well start with the ups and downs instead of the headlands. That way the bales don't get in the way of the workers, or the person doing the rowing. So I remembered that right before we started the second headland, and boy, this one's a little sensitive to back up. Let's go ahead and straighten it out now. But yeah, so we're doing the ups and downs first, even though I did the first headland going a lot smoother that way. And we gave him a good amount of a head start, which was by design there. You know, the John Deere can just stay in here for now. But yeah, definitely by design to give them a head start, and it worked out really good. And we stopped baling. But we're at 22 bales already, and I always forget if that counts the ones that have dropped yet, which I don't think it does. But you can see how much we have left. Shouldn't take too much longer. Then we need to get the bales out of the way, because we do need to treat this field to make sure we get just as good of a yield next time around. We ended up with 62 bales. Now it's time to just get them out of the way. That's some hard work. That is some hard work. And that is all the time we're going to have for today's episode. We've got 64 bales out here ready to go when the time comes to buy some cattle. We got to get a way to transport the cattle and a little bit of money to fund it. But this barn should come alive very soon. Hoping to get up to 171 cows in here long term. We won't start with that many. I don't think we'll be able to afford that. But that's the plan long term. I'm SWU. Thanks for hanging out. I will catch you on the next episode.